Hey, I'm Claire.
And I'm Janice.
And this is The X-Files, a podcast about breakups, broken hearts, and moving on.
We are breakup coaches here to help you beat your breakup,
Heal your broken heart,
and move on to an amazing, abundant life.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a guest episode. We are so excited to have Kelly on the show. You've guessed from the title of the episode, it's all about solo travel.
Yay!
We will introduce her in just a second, but we wanted to take the moment to remind you time is ticking. You don't have too much time left to join our Instagram giveaway. We're doing a 60K giveaway to celebrate 60,000 listens of the show, which we are so excited about. We never thought. Yeah, all of these numbers are as much of a surprise to us as to anyone else.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, we know we have a really good thing, but we just didn't have, expectations around what our benchmarks would be. Yeah. And so, it's been overwhelming just to see how many people listen each week. And also just like we always say, the impact that we're making, because we hear from people about how much it means to them. And obviously, no podcast can be successful without its listeners. So we really wanted to do something to celebrate our numbers, to increase our impact, and to say thank you to everyone.
Yeah. And so we want to thank you guys by giving some stuff away while also bringing people over to our Instagram, which is important. So go ahead, go to X-Files podcast. That's our handle on Instagram, and enter the giveaway. We have instructions on our giveaway post there. You'll see it. It's hard to miss. But the prizes. Okay. So here's what we've got. We've got an Illuminate Space soy candle. Illuminate Space is a female-owned small business specializing in small batch candles to illuminate your space. Each candle is made with plant-based essential oils, natural cotton thread wicks, and sustainably harvested reeds. It's really important. You get these candles from who knows where, and they have synthetic fragrances, which disrupt your hormones. This will not be one of those candles. This is a good for you candle. So check them out on Instagram at Illuminate Space to learn about their cool work. And they even have a small business podcast. So if that's something you're interested to, check that out. Join our giveaway raffle for your chance to win.
We love Illuminate Space and we love their products. Claire has some of them.
Yes.
And I have some of our next sponsors' products. In fact, I just ordered my second box of donuts by Fossil Fuel Collective. Fossil Fuel Collective is a healthy snack company that provides all of the deliciousness of a snack without the sugar crash. I am in love with these donuts. They are keto, paleo, vegan, gluten-free, and absolutely delicious. I can promise you they absolutely hit the spot. And they are also a small business, and they are based in Boulder. They are our neighbors. Hey guys. And I actually just ordered another box today. I called them because it's Monday and they actually fulfill orders just on Mondays. And I knew that. And the reason they do that is because they're fresh, they're, sold hot off the rack and sent to you. So you can get your chance to win your own box by joining the raffle. And if you would like 15% off your first order, please head to our show notes because we have an exclusive discount code. All right. So
they're so delicious. I love them. They're so good.
Really
I gotta order another box. Yeah. And then lastly, we have Womanizer.
Woohoo.
So if you haven't tried Womanizer yet, you're missing out. Suction-based pleasure is a game changer for so many individuals, and we're just really excited to have them as a sponsor on our first giveaway. They will be sending one of their premium models, so $200 value right there. And it's a smart pleasure tool. It only turns on when it touches your skin.
It's so cool.
Yeah, we haven't tried the premium model ourselves, but if it's probably better than their original. What is
well,
it?
Okay, so I think what Claire's trying to say is we are very familiar with the womanizer and its abilities, but we do not have the premium model, which is just absolutely really top of the line as far as pleasure tools go.
Bringing like smart technology into the bedroom.
So interesting.
So yeah, it's a great way to make you feel like you're getting it each and every day. And, you know, man or woman, if you win this, like someone in your life is going to be really stoked that you won this.
Yes.
And Janice has heard that men are also cool with the suction-based pleasure.
Yeah,
you know?
Apparently it can provide a lot of pleasure for men as well, which I found out researching it recently. So we know we have listeners of all identities. Definitely, you know, head over to our Instagram for your chances to win. I think that, yeah, like Claire said, anyone would be happy to get a womanizer premium in the mail. So don't delay. The giveaway ends at the end of the week.
Yeah.
And we just cannot wait to start sending out all these treats in the mail.
Yes. And there's like multiple different ways you can enter. You can accumulate more entries if you want to increase your chances. If you're in Europe, you can still enter.
Yes,
so go ahead, head on over to Instagram, and we look forward to hopefully sending you something.
Absolutely. All right. So thank you so much for listening to our giveaway. We're so excited about it. And we are also excited about this week's episode, which is with Kelly Saavedra, pronouns she, her, who is a solo traveler, passionate about encouraging people to not wait for a partner to have adventures, but rather get out there and explore the world by discovering the joy of solo travel. I've wanted to do this topic for ages, and we were so excited when we came across Kelly's work and lifestyle on Instagram. Kelly is a former expat who went on her own solo travel journey after her divorce several years back. So she also has this cool story about how she turned her own breakup into an exciting new life of her own. It's really inspiring. She, does not wait around. She is constantly doing really cool things. And we had a really, really great chat with her. We completely just fell head over heels for her as a person. And we're really thrilled to have her as a part of the X-Files community.
Yeah, she's just the sweetest, and you can tell like how passionate she is about this and how much like solo travel has changed her own life. So we go into like how her divorce and kind of friends falling through on one travel plan just really like started her new life for herself. And like she's just really, really amazing and cool. I think you guys are going to really love hearing what she has to say. We have some good tips. Head to the show notes because we link all the things that we talk about, or at least most of the things. Some of the things is like you've heard of Delta or whatever.
Yes, we're not leaving you to Delta
Spirit Airlines and stuff. So
but she did give some really cool ideas for some apps and things that you can use if you're planning a solo trip. If you plan your own solo trip as a result of this episode, tag us so that we can cheer you on. I'm a passionate solo traveler myself, and I can definitely swear by what it can bring to your life.
Yes.
And if you would like to continue to follow Kelly's adventures, please find her on Instagram at Kelly Ann Explores and check out her evolving travel blog at kellyannexplores.com. She is really taking this solo travel thing and making her own empire out of it, which I'm excited to see.
Yeah. So let's dive right in and let's talk to Kelly.
All right. Welcome, Kelly, to X-Files. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. We've been looking forward to this for a while. Claire is the one who discovered you ages ago, and we thought doing an episode on solo travel for a podcast that talks about breakups and, you know, designing the next chapter of your life just makes so much sense. So I'm thrilled. I was actually telling Claire before you came on that I was like thinking about this interview in my sleep last night. Just every little time I woke up, I just found myself thinking more and more about it. So obviously it's been on my mind. I also know the power of solo travel and what it can do. And I wanted to share that I actually got to witness a client recently really lean into it, and just being able to see the difference that it made for her, just really wonderful and exciting and life-changing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Well, we can't wait to hear all about it.
I'm excited to share.
To get started, let's just like get into the juicy stuff right away. Okay. Yeah. So we understand that you kind of developed a love for traveling solo or traveling, you tell me, following a divorce, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what would you like to tell us about that?
Well, I guess I'll just rewind a little bit back to my childhood. Both my parents traveled all over the world before I was born, and I was always really enamored at their stories and the places they went, and I knew that's something I wanted to do someday. So fast forward to college, I married my college boyfriend shortly after I graduated college, and he was in the military, so that, you know, sends us around a lot. We ended up living in Germany for 3 years.
Oh, cool.
And I had never been to Europe before. I had only been to like Mexico and Canada, like border towns. So my first international flight was moving abroad.
And Germany is
no pressure.
Germany is like different.
Yes.
You know, you go some places in Europe and, you know, it's not too big of a shock. You go to Germany and you're like, damn, you know, I'm in a different country.
Totally. And there's different rules and, you know, traditions and stuff. So it was a little hard to adjust at first, but I ended up really loving it. There were definitely some ups and downs in my marriage that were going on then. But being able to live in Germany, I was able to go to a lot of like little towns, places I never thought I'd be able to go.
Yeah, and, Europass.
Right. Yeah. And like there was a train station down the street from us. So like I'd hop on a train and go to like a town an hour away.
Yeah, Germany, all of Europe is great for that. I also have lived in Germany, and being able to go to these little, you know, different kingdoms, you know, just an hour away on the train.
Right. I lived in Bavaria, so that was like very Catholic, but it has their own like traditions and stuff. But yeah, so, you know, I got comfortable going to doing little things like that, and I knew I wanted to keep doing this. Like, and so we moved back to the United States after my husband got out of my ex-husband got out of the military. There was some verbal abuse, there was a lot of verbal abuse in our marriage, emotional abuse, some financial abuse that was happening over the years. And I tried to stick it out, and I was hoping they would get, you know, he would change, it would get better. I'm not perfect, but he wasn't treating me the right way.
Yeah.
And so I was going to go on a trip to Italy and Ireland with my friend, and she ended up bailing on me. Not in like a negative way. She just didn't end up having the money, and then she couldn't get the time off.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you know, I'm just gonna go by myself. Like, you know, I had lived in Europe before, so I was familiar with it, but I hadn't been to. I was going to Rome and then the southern part of Ireland, and I hadn't been to Rome yet. So I booked a trip to Rome, and I told my friends and my family, and my mom was really supportive of it because she's solo traveled before I was born. But my friends and other family members thought I was kind of crazy.
Where in the breakup is this?
So this is right before I was going to, this is right when I was about to file for divorce.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. So I decided to take this trip right before I was going to file for divorce. I knew it was over. My self-esteem and self-worth were just destroyed. And I wasn't going to let anybody stop me. I just was like, I have to do this for myself.
Hell yeah.
And so I booked the trip, and I went to Italy, I went to Rome, and I went to Ireland. I spent 10 days overseas by myself. It just made me feel really empowered when I was there. I just felt really strong. It gave me a lot of clarity. And, there's this, I guess, what's the word? I don't want to say stigma, but there's this idea that women can't do things by themselves sometimes, that we're weak and that we need a man, or we need to have a group of other people to do things and to me, it was just kind of my big, excuse my language, but big F you to
go for it.
To everyone kind of being like, look, I can do this. I don't need anybody. I've been through hell, and this makes me happy, and I'm going to continue to do this. And I just felt really brave, and it made me feel like I can do other things on my own. And so when I got back from the trip, that's when I filed for divorce, because it just kind of changed my mentality, Definitely there was still a lot of healing that needed to be done, but I think traveling solo on that big trip made big impact on me, and definitely assisted in the healing process for sure.
That's very exciting. How cool. I wonder, were you able to kind of think things through because you were traveling solo? I mean, how did you feel about your, having gone on your own? Do you think it was different than an experience than it would have been if your friend hadn't had to cancel?
Because I kind of just did things on my own pace. That's one of the things about solo travel is you can do things whenever you want to. You know what I mean? I mean, to a certain extent, I could sleep in the morning, if I had a really late flight coming in or something, I could sleep in. Obviously, I did book some group tours to not make me feel so alone. I had a great food tour that I went on, and a tour of the Vatican. And so it was nice to be around other people. But, after that tour, I was like, well, what am I going to do today? Well, I think I'm just going to stroll around the streets, and someone else might have been like, well, I want to go to the Coliseum. I want to do this. I want to do that. And, I still did get to do those things. I just did them on my own time. And it just, if I was I remember going back to my hotel because it was so hot and I wanted to take a nap. Someone else might not be down for that. So it's definitely different experience than had I gone with somebody else.
Do you
completely
do you travel with people now, or just mostly solo?
Mostly solo. I do have a girls trip planned in January for Hawaii. So that's gonna be fun, but a lot of times I just do it solo. I have a lot of friends. I'm in my mid-30s, and a lot of my friends are married and have kids, and it's just not as easy for them to take time off and go somewhere, or just go on a spontaneous weekend trip somewhere. So I just if I want to do it, I'm going to do it. I don't want to wait around for anybody. I know that might sound selfish, but there's so many people out there who just don't travel because they don't have someone to do it with. And I think it's really important to just just get out there and do it, because you never know, you might miss your chance. And I mean, I'd rather do it by myself than wait around forever, maybe never even get a chance to go somewhere, you know?
Yeah. No, that's
Amazing.
That's so cool. That's amazing. I'm so glad that you had this experience. And I think one of the major fears for people, like, it's almost comparable to just taking yourself out on a date alone.
Yes.
Like, I mean, step one, go out to dinner by yourself. And then, maybe step two, plan a weekend trip somewhere alone. But yeah, you don't need other people to be safe. I think that's a main thing for a lot of women, is traveling alone. You have these horror stories of what can happen.
Right.
So like, obviously safety is a concern, but it's not something that should prevent anyone from going
just
places they want to go.
For sure. Definitely be aware of your surroundings and stuff. But to be completely honest, like on my trip, everyone, my former mother-in-law and some other people were telling me, like, you're going to get raped, you're going to get kidnapped, trying to scare me. And it was like, I'll be fine. Like, I'm not, I know basic safety precautions, right? Like, I'm not gonna do something stupid, like get in a car with a stranger or something. But doing the entire trip, I felt so safe. Like, I never got hit on. Just, like, people say you go to Italy and get like hit on. I've been to Italy a few times, but Rome was definitely the biggest city, and nobody ever approached me walking by myself. Like, I don't know why.
I also come across this as well. As soon as you tell anyone that you want to go on any solo trip, it's automatically, oh, I hope you'll be safe. Oh, I don't know. Which it's saying two things. First of all, that like this world is just this, inherently dangerous place, that no one should be going anywhere. And also that, a woman, must make decisions about, exploring an adventure just based on what other people, are willing to go along with or do.
I remember I went on just a short little road trip when I was married, and I met up with a family member, and she was like, your husband is allowing you to do this? He's okay with you going by yourself? And I just like looked at her and I was like,
I mean, really, it's sexist.
Yeah.
It was, but like, I guess it's acceptable sexism for some reason.
And it's interesting that, the answer of society of all these voices as a whole is don't go unless you go with someone else. It's not like, the world is kind of dangerous for everyone. Like, let's make sure you're, doing the right things and you're taking precautions and you're not putting yourself into situations that could be more dangerous. But like, we live in Denver. There's like a huge problem here with, sex trafficking and things like that. Like, everywhere in the world is dangerous. Like, just because you're traveling doesn't necessarily mean like you're in more danger. I think it's about being like savvy and stuff, right? And
just being aware of your surroundings and just just use common sense.
But cool. So I mean, are there other safety tips that you'd like recommend for people?
So I wrote some down.
Awesome. I know we're skipping ahead a little bit, but it just kind of naturally flowed.
That's awesome.
So one of the things I do, I always tell people like where I'm going. I give them like an itinerary of like if I'm staying at a hotel, a hostel, a campground or something, like where I'm going to be. And I share my location on my phone with my mom most of the time, but anybody, sometimes with friends or whatever, just in case God forbid I go disappearing, they have a general idea, maybe where my phone is, where I might be. It's just like an extra step to like make other people feel comfortable kind of. And
Yeah.
I don't walk alone at night unless it's like, if I have to get back to my hotel or something like that, I try and make sure it's not like across the big town, like a big city. I have, a personal alarm that I have on my keys. I wonder if I can show it to you guys. So I have this little personal alarm on my keys. And if you pull this little stick, I guess is the best way to explain it. It sends off like 120 decibel alarm sound, so it's pretty loud.
There you go.
Nice.
It definitely gets people's attention. I haven't had to use it, but it's nice to have it with me. I like to have the emergency phone numbers in my phone just in case of something. Just in case something happens. What else do I do? Yeah, social media is so popular and we love to post, about our stories and where we're at and our pictures, but I never post in real time. When I'm alone, I don't ever do it because
I wouldn't have thought of that.
My account's public, but you never know who's watching you, and you can post a picture of you, in front of the Eiffel Tower, like right then and there. And somebody, if they're just even on their Instagram there and they see like most recent tags or whatever, if there's a bad
Location
person
tags
out there, they could find you. They could, they could be on the lookout for you. Same thing just in stories. I never say, if I'm traveling and I say, oh, I'm here, I'm really not there. Like it was probably, a few hours ago, maybe even the day before.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Yeah.
I love that.
I don't know why
I do that too. Just all the time.
Yeah.
And also I wanted to add that Uber has also made me feel a lot safer traveling alone because can't get lost. You can always get where you're going. Right. And they're now tracking your trip and lots of safety features.
I was just gonna say I haven't taken one in a while, but I know they've updated their app with like little safety tools and stuff.
Yeah. I really like it. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think it's important also, I think we have this fine balance of, not traveling in fear, but being safe at the same time. So I appreciate it. So let's get into some more of the fun stuff. What would you say, your 3 favorite things about solo travel are?
So I definitely enjoy the freedom of solo travel. I like being able to do what I want, go out to where I want to eat. Say I want to go to a quirky little museum or, a show somewhere. I don't have to worry about what another person wants to do. It's just, it allows me a lot of flexibility. Also, the flexibility of choosing when to go, because again, not everyone's schedules always line up. So if I have, I want to go on a weekend trip somewhere, I have the time off, then I'm going to seize the opportunity and do that. And someone else might not be able to, and that's fine. We can plan something later to do together, but this is when I have time, and so I'm going to do it,
Yeah.
Another thing is meeting new people. It forces me to I'm a pretty chatty person probably in general, I'd say, but it forces me to kind of get out there and talk to people. And, I've met people in hostels from Singapore. Like I have a friend that's from Singapore now, and we just ended up talking because we didn't have someone to like eat with. She's like, can I come sit with and eat with you? And I'm like, sure, and so I meet new people. Or I went on a road trip a few months ago and I was standing on a corner taking photos in a really small town in New Mexico. And I ended up meeting a nice guy who actually grew up in the same town as I did. And I was in the middle of nowhere. It was just was so
Wow.
weird, but it was so cool. Like, and
Yeah.
I still talk to that guy and we're friends now. And so just meeting new people I think is one of my favorite things, because you just, yeah, it forces you to get out of your comfort zone, you have to talk to people when you're by yourself.
Yeah. One of my closest friends actually is someone I met on a solo trip. When I was in Tasmania, there's a shuttle that you take to get to the Fine Arts Museum there. And you can either choose, one level where everyone, just goes and kind of they pack everyone in, or you can choose the VIP area. And I'm like, well, doing the VIP, and I was sitting next to these two women, and of course they noticed I was American, which is conversation started when you were in Australia. And yeah, we're still friends, like probably one of my closest friends. And just we actually ended up going on a wine tour and spending the whole day together and just completely hitting it off. And
yeah,
I mean, I'm not as much the type to try and do that, but it just happens, I suppose, when you're traveling and having adventures with people around you.
Right. And that girl that I met from Singapore, I was actually in Yosemite when I met her. I was on a road trip and I stayed in a hostel in the woods, and we ended up spending part of the day the next day together, exploring the valley in Yosemite. And then we went off in our different directions to do our hikes, and then we met up later in the day, and it was it was fun. It was nice, and I wasn't expecting that at all. I thought I was going to do everything by myself, and I was okay with doing everything by myself, but
that's the thing.
It was
You're gonna
nice
have fun no matter what.
Right. It was nice to find somebody who wanted to hang out as well. So yeah. And then another thing is probably just about learning new cultures and going places you might not think of going, had you gone on a group trip with somebody, little towns here and there, like that maybe you've never heard of, and meeting people from those cultures and just learning about their traditions, and hearing the history about the towns and the history of their families. I think that's just really awesome to get to know people and hear what makes them tick, and how we're all the same, but we're different, but we're all the same, kind of,
Yeah. Perspective.
Exactly. I really like meeting people from different cultures and trying to broaden my horizons and just open my eyes and my mind more and learn just more about them.
That's amazing.
It's a good example of what you can gain from solo travel, because when you're with friends, you might not have that opportunity to, learn about other people as much, because you're focused on your group, which is fun and really great, but it broadens, your possibility of connecting with new people if you're not with people.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're not saying like never travel in a group again. We're just saying stop making excuses on going on trips you really want to go on, because, a lot of our audience, is going through a breakup there, and, they were maybe planning a trip with this person, or,
I was just going to say about the breakup. So I had my divorce, but I did go through a recent breakup with a guy I had been dating for quite a while. And we had talked about going to the Channel Islands this summer and kayaking the sea caves.
Oh my God, I've done that. It's so fun. Did you go?
I did end up going.
Yay!
I didn't have anything like set in stone, but like it was on our list of like things to do during the summer, and how like that would be really fun. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it myself. Like,
Yeah.
So, it was only 2 hours from where I lived. And so it wasn't like a big trip or anything, but I was able to get in like really last minute and booked a kayak tour and a little budget hotel. And I went and I did it by myself. I mean,
that's amazing.
And they were tandem kayaks. Everyone had somebody they were with, and I was the only person by myself. But there was a family of like 5, and I ended up, kayaking with one of their daughters, and I had helped her, perfect her strokes a little bit. And I was so glad I did it, because I was like, there was a part of me that was kind of sad, like that thought it might be sad because like this is something we were supposed to do, like, but I was like, no, you're good. Like you've done this before, you can do it, and this is something you really wanted to do. Like so, go ahead, do it, girl. And so I did,
Awesome.
and it was the most beautiful day. It was perfect. It was amazing. So definitely go out there and do it. Like if you had a trip with somebody planned and they broke up, like you guys broke up, try going out there and still doing the trip, because I think it'll make you feel better. You don't want to let that control your
exactly
your life and dictate how you feel. Like it might be a little sad at first, but I promise you'll probably feel better in the end.
Yeah.
Right.
Power through that initial sadness.
For sure.
That's so cool. I love I spent the last 8 years in Santa Barbara. So I was like right there.
Yeah, Santa Barbara. Awesome.
I miss the ocean.
Okay. Oh, so this was the picture of the dolphins that you had on your IG, Kelly?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
good for you.
Yeah, you take a ferry over. You take a ferry from Ventura Harbor. And then there were dolphins on our way over, and it was so amazing. Like I was like in such awe. It was a really special moment.
That's so awesome. I'm all nostalgic. Okay. So what has your favorite trip been so far, do you think? Solo trip.
My favorite trip was my trip to Rome in Ireland, right when I was about to go through my divorce, and because it was so transformative for me. It was the longest solo trip I've ever been on. It was 10 days. I had to learn to really step outside my comfort zone and talk to new people. I made some mistakes. I missed a tour because
I was going to say, let's talk about that.
Yeah, I missed a tour, and a few years ago, or I might have sat there and cried and been really upset about it. And I'd be like, oh, see, now this is why I shouldn't have done it, but I just took a deep breath and I was like, all right, well, we're going to book another tour for another day. I have the funds for that. And now I get to go do something else instead,
Yeah, I wonder if being on your own almost makes it easier to deal with things that happen, because, if something like this falls through, what are you going to do? Sit there and freak out like to yourself? Whereas, I know with me, if I was with a partner, it might just be, bitching and complaining and what are we going to do? Oh my God, this is horrible. Right. And like even maybe getting in a fight. Whereas when you're alone, it's like,
well,
plans have
changed.
Let's deal with this.
That's kind of what it was. I was like, I sat there on the street and I was like, well, we're going to have to figure something out. I went off and I did my own little thing for the day. And then I went and I booked a new tour for, the next day, or like 2 days later, because I was still going to be there. And it all worked out, I figured it out. And I was proud of myself because, I handled something like that someone else might have been really upset about. And I really liked being in Italy and Ireland because I felt like I really immersed myself in their culture too, because while I did do like some group tours and stuff, I did go and like my group tour leader for a food tour I was on told me about this place called Testaccio Market. And she's like, oh yeah, they have this big party today, I suggest going down there if you want to be like one of the locals, So I went out there and I figured out how to get there on the metro, and I got to Testaccio Market. I was the only person there, probably by herself, who was American, but they had a big party. It was like a big Italian party. There was food and music, and I was so happy to be there, and I felt like, wow, like here I am, little Kelly, like in Testaccio Market in Rome by herself, like, and I'm enjoying myself, and I'm getting to listen to this Italian music and listen to these people have conversations and stuff, even though I only know like a little bit of Italian. It was just really fun. I don't know. It felt really good. And it just,
Yeah.
and even in Ireland, they speak English there, so that's easier. But, you know, uh, my great grandparents are from there, and I had, time to explore that area, and it just was, I don't know, just really put things in perspective, and it felt really healing. So I would say
That's it.
that was my favorite solo trip for sure.
Oh, I think that's lovely.
Yeah,
I'm really glad
I
to
love
hear that
that.
it was, the trip that you planned around your divorce. And I think anyone listening who's gone through a breakup recently, having a breakup trip can really be quite healing. And I mean, I know for me, and it sounds like your experience was just like these little moments of, hope and, everything's going to be okay. And if I can do something like this so close to what's really a personal tragedy, then probably going to turn out all right in the end.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's important to note too that solo travel isn't going to like solve all your problems, but
Yeah.
it's a great tool in your healing process. And I think it's really like, again, like I said, it's transformative. I feel like I'm a different person than I was a few years ago. And I can't sing its praises,
Oh, well,
Gosh.
let's get down to it as far as, so if someone does want to plan a breakup trip and they haven't been used to solo travel in the past, what are some of the basic things you should know or do or to get started planning a trip like yours?
Yeah. So what I would say is the basic things that you should know. Um, Definitely, if you want to go on a solo trip and you've never done it before and you're scared, I would start small. So, like Claire mentioned before, go out to lunch by yourself, go to dinner by yourself, maybe take a day trip somewhere,
Mhm.
and just really get comfortable being by yourself. Then a weekend trip. And then when you feel like you kind of, understand how to be by yourself, and um, then look at the bigger trips if that's something you want to do,
Mhm.
go take that leap and go on that international trip to Europe or Southeast Asia or South America, wherever. Um, and Definitely look at the safety guidelines and do some research about your destination, because you don't want to go somewhere that might be having, I don't know, a civil war or something going on, right? I mean,
Certainly not.
that's pretty extreme, but it happens.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, I also would say don't be afraid to book a hostel. That's a great way to meet new people and not feel so alone. They're not for everybody. You can book private dorms as well at hostels, but you can also do a like multi-person dorm. Yeah, just be flexible about where you're going, and what's going to happen. Because like I mentioned before, I had some hiccups on my solo trips, and you just have to be flexible. So know that things might be things might go wrong. Things
Mhm.
might, you might miss a train, you might, miss a tour, but there's always a way to come back and fix it, and just be flexible. It'll all work out.
Yeah. Your
I-
iPhone is your friend when you're solo
Oh
traveling,
my
I can tell you that.
Yes, Google Maps is
Yeah.
great.
Mhm.
Google Translate, there are currency apps on there that'll help you as well. And there's tons of blogs out there for it too.
Mhm.
So lots of resources for you.
Yeah. I love what you said about being flexible, and it just like I think the reason why we're doing an episode on this is because like solo travel can be kind of like this practice round that gives you confidence on lessons that you're going to need to like come to terms with in a breakup, that things go wrong, plans change. Sometimes the weather is terrible and you're not prepared for it. Like, you know, it's teaching you how to like take care of yourself in like a very practical way, but I think it has like emotional lessons as well that you then bring back. Yeah.
I think that a lot of the things that you learn through solo travel can translate to other parts of your life as well. So it's a great thing.
Oh, yeah. Put it on a resume, put it on your dating app.
Solo travel on your resume. Well, Kelly might becoming an expert here. You could be a consultant, a travel solo travel consultant.
That sounds like it would
Kelly.
Maybe I'll work on that.
Yeah. So we're starting small. What's the best way to plan a day or a weekend trip?
So I guess
never done it before.
I have. Well, yeah. I mean, if you haven't.
If you haven't, you know.
I wanted to.
What were you gonna say, Janice?
Well, so one reason I put this question down is because I saw that she posted a trip to Bisbee, Arizona, which is like one of Arizona's kind of best kept secrets, really. It is this funky mountain town that is kind of hard to explain. But anyways, you had obviously made a weekend trip out of it, right?
So I went on a road trip to Alabama because my brother was getting married there in June. So I drove from California to Alabama, and then I drove from Alabama back to California. It was after my recent breakup, so I took a little road trip, and I figured, you know, we'll make an adventure out of it. So on my way back, I was looking at places that I had always wanted to visit, and Bisbee was one of them because my great-grandparents, or my grandfather was born there. They immigrated from Mexico to Bisbee. It was a big copper mining town. And so I had always wanted to visit, and it was kind of on my way back. So I decided, hey, I'll spend a day there. So that wasn't a weekend trip. It was
sorry.
No, it's fine. Yeah. But it was if you're in Tucson or like somewhere in the Arizona region, like you could probably make a day trip out of it. But it's a quirky little town, and it's perfect for a day trip because it's not too big, not too small. It's perfect.
I took a day trip there when I was living in Phoenix with my partner, and really fun.
Yeah.
So, sorry to interrupt. We'd love to know about your day trip.
Oh yeah.
Tips.
No. Well, I guess it just depends on where you want to go. Some people are more outdoorsy, so they want to go on a couple hour drive and go on a hike, somewhere, or you just want to do more of an exploring a new town. I think the best thing, like I have like little notes in my phone, like where I want to go, like places I want to see. Instagram has like a nice way of saving and creating collection, Pinterest boards. And then I do a little research. So say I'm going to, Northern California, and I'm going to be in the San Francisco region, like just kind of looking to see what's around there, and like, okay, so I can take a day trip from San Francisco to Napa or to Monterey, to Sacramento, seeing, how far the distances are. So then also, like, say I'm here in Washington now, just looking at like Portland. Say Portland's 2 hours from me. I want to do a day trip there. I'm going to do some research. I'm going to go online. I'm going to look at some blogs. I'm going to see what there is to do, some cool places to eat. Again, like I mentioned before, Instagram's great. There's lots of little places I save that I want to check out.
Like, how would you find information on Instagram for a trip?
So I usually just search hashtags or location, like, Portland or Seattle or San Francisco, and kind of see what comes up on there, like any cool pictures that spark my interest. I might add that and see if that's doable, if that's something I could visit when I'm in town. Yeah, and restaurants.
Yeah.
Restaurants are great. I love looking at food pictures and being like, oh my gosh, I want to go there. Like, they have a great, their food looks great. They like that smoothie looks great. That
Yeah. There's usually like an account too. There's like in each place, like, because I mean, I'm fairly new to Denver, and Janice I know is too, but like less new than me. But there's like a Denver foodie Instagram, and so I'm like always on that, like looking to see like where I want to go out to dinner and try next. So like actual accounts.
Right. And most cities have like a tourism bureau. So they have an Instagram. So like visit California is huge. There's lots of things in California, but there's like,
yeah,
there's like,
it's like a huge economy.
Yeah. Well, you'd be surprised. A lot of people who've never been to California think that everything's like
palm trees.
Right. And like, oh, San Francisco's right next to LA. It's like, no, that's
no. Or people who haven't been to the States who are going to do like the States in a week.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, no. New York is maybe a week.
Yeah. You know, like, literally.
I mean, even California, you can't do in a week.
No, I mean, not well.
In California, and there's I haven't even been. So
I'm pretty sure it takes a lot less time to drive fully across the UK than it takes to drive from the bottom of California to the top.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
I think it's like many hours more.
And also, and just so much to do and so many different places. Oh God, I love California so much for that.
Yeah, but there's in cities like only in SF that has a bunch of stuff for San Francisco. Austin, Texas has a visit Austin, Texas Instagram. You can go on there and see what they've posted, and sometimes they tag people who posted a photo, so you go to their account and then you see.
What about blogs?
Blogs are great too. One of them that I really love. She used to live in Germany. She's not a military wife or anything, but she is married. Her name is Helene In Between. She's on Instagram and she has a great blog. She actually sold all her stuff and they moved to Germany and lived there for a few years and traveled all over Europe because that was what she wanted to do. And she's done solo stuff as well. But she's got tons of guides for different places in Europe and all over the United States as well. There's another great one when we're talking about budget traveling and solo traveling. Her name is Lindsay and her blog is called One Girl Wandering, and she finds tons of tips or tons of tricks for you, like travel credit card tricks, just all kinds of ways to save money when you travel solo. So she's a great blog to read as well. And
cool. I will put this in the show notes for everyone. And I mean, I suppose this would be a great time to ask about how to afford it, budget tricks, little ways to get deals. As someone who does this a lot, I would assume that you probably have some go-tos or tips for people who maybe want to make it budget friendly or at least be informed, because I know when you're going out there and planning a trip, even if you maybe aren't overly concerned about funds, you can still waste a lot by not knowing the right places to go.
Yeah. So I'll say this, most of my travel has been domestic and in Europe. I don't have a lot of experience like in South America or Africa or Asia. So this just applies to what I've done in those locations. So in Europe, if you are there, like get your flight to Europe through, there are travel credit cards, use your miles. But once you're in Europe, there's tons of budget airlines. They're the best.
Oh yeah. Ryanair.
Ryanair.
Right?
Yeah, I was just gonna say Ryanair. I got a flight from Germany to Dublin, Ireland, I think for 30 euros.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a short flight. The seats don't recline, but it's like an hour flight. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
if you can handle that, it's a great option. Love budget airlines for European travel. I've only used one budget airline in the States, but I know there's Spirit.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I don't know how specific we want to get, but
Right.
it's a deal breaker for me.
I have seen some videos on the interwebs.
The last time I did it, I said I will pay extra. I'm not doing this anymore. I hate it. You know?
Oh my God.
Yeah. So typically, I don't usually use budget airlines in the States, but in Europe, they're great because the flights are super short and you can get, like, great deals. Budgeting as well. Like I mentioned before, hostels are great. They're cheap. You know, you can get them for like as low as $20 a night at some places. It just depends on how comfortable you are with that. I really like using booking.com. I've used them so much when I was in Europe that I get like if you book so many, like, I guess, accommodations that you go up like they call them genius like levels, and so you go up these levels and you can get like a discount on a hotel, or free breakfast included versus not included. So I like using booking.com. There's also this really cool place called Hip Camp. It's only in the United States and Canada right now, but really cool accommodations, super cheap as well. You can it's usually like it's kind of like Airbnb for the outdoors. So you can stay in like a tree house in Santa Fe for $60.
All right, sign me up.
Let's go. We're going right now.
Very cool. Have you stayed in a tree house? Have you? Oh,
well, it was a little tree house. It was a very small tree house.
Oh God, listen to her. Oh, well, it was a tree house. It was little though. That's awesome.
No, but I did it through Hip Camp in Santa Fe, and on my little road trip a few months ago, I wanted to not stay in hotels. I wanted to camp and do outdoorsy kind of stuff. And I was like, I had heard about Hip Camp a few months ago, and I was like, I'm gonna check that out. And I was driving, through I was going to be near Albuquerque, and Santa Fe is about an hour away. So I just kind of saw what was in the area, and it was like treehouse cabin in Santa Fe. And I was like, that sounds awesome. And it was $60. So,
oh my gosh. I want to do one of those like bubble like rooms where you can see the stars from your bed. So cool. That sounds
like in
fun.
Alaska or like Iceland or something.
But it's like temperature controlled.
Oh yeah.
As well.
Yeah. Oh, I also stayed on a farm in Louisiana. Like, they had a little cabin in their back on their farm, and
yeah, I recommend that. I found a farm when I was in England on Airbnb, and it was such a cool experience.
Yeah, definitely. So there are like cheap ways to travel and do stuff like that if you're down for the adventure kind of. And I'm trying to think what else. Oh, Rick Steves in Europe has a great app called the
does he?
Yeah, you can do walking tours and they're free. So I was at the Colosseum, and instead of paying for a tour to hear about all the history of the Colosseum, I just downloaded his app, and you just click where you're going to be at, like which tour and what city and all that stuff. And you can listen to him tell you all the history about the Colosseum or Palatine Hill.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh, there's so many resources. And like, honestly, I think that's where people get overwhelmed, is like, because it's happened to me, where you go on Google and you're like, oh my God, so much information, so many blogs and all of these things. So I guess just, start with one thing and go from there. Don't overwhelm yourself with all of the information,
Yeah, because
Yeah.
there is so much information out there and it is overwhelming. So
I think starting with just making a decision about where you're going and where you're going to stay, for me, helps with some of the overwhelm. And then the closer you get, start making decisions about what you're going to do, but get the big thing out of the way. Just bite the bullet, make the choice.
For sure. And I always like to stay somewhere very central too, like you're close to public transportation, the metro, so you don't end up spending all that extra money on like taxis or Ubers or whatever. Like,
yeah, that's a really good tip.
Yeah. Are there some places that are better for solo travel than others? And like, how do you tell the difference?
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely think there are. You definitely don't want to go somewhere, like I mentioned before, where there's, civil unrest or, a terror level that's really high. I don't think that's probably a good place to go solo traveling.
I support that.
I mean, I've got a girlfriend who went to Afghanistan, so props to her. I don't know if I would do that.
Not right now.
Not right now.
Yeah, no,
for sure.
I'm a little more
which is sad because these places have really rich history, but
when it comes to solo travel and best places, I think if you haven't done it before, like say you are doing that big trip, go somewhere where the people know English, if you're American, because while there is Google Translate and there are like apps and other ways to get around, it's a lot more comfortable when that the people in the destination you're at know how to communicate in your native language. So again, for Americans, English is great. Going to London, England, I feel very comfortable there because they all speak English.
Yeah, there's a lot of places, but I would look into that.
Right. Even in Germany, when I lived there, a lot of people speak English there. Obviously, they want you to try and speak some German, but if you know English and they know English, like you're gonna be able to get around pretty easily. Definitely, when it comes to, like I mentioned before, like dangerous places, maybe not somewhere that has like a really high crime rate. I know there are places in Mexico that people have gotten kidnapped. So maybe not go to those places like solo. Look online. They have I think it's the State Department has travel advisories and stuff, so you can tell like what is safe and what is not. But don't be afraid to take risks, but also just trust your gut too, because sometimes things just don't feel right. And if it doesn't feel right, walk away, don't do it, go somewhere else, because your safety is the most important thing.
Yeah, agreed. I know I was in Malaysia and I was walking around and I came to an overpass and I like almost couldn't move. Something was telling me like, turn the fuck around. You are not going that direction. It was one of my favorite solo trips, but I just realized, you do really need to listen to that. And if you can listen to that, then you can have a great time. Because that that's going to come in your mind if something isn't right, and that you'll be able to listen to it and reroute your day.
Totally. Like I've done it before. When I was in Rome, I walked down the street and I got a really bad feeling. It was the middle of the day, but I got a really bad feeling, and I just turned around and I walked right back to the metro and got back on a train because I just did not have a good feeling. And I don't regret it because my body told me no, and I'm gonna trust my body, so, and my mind.
Yeah, all that extra information that isn't being processed consciously.
Yes.
Yeah, we perceive things that we don't notice, maybe.
I would like to ask an unexpected question. Do you have any trips coming up or any holiday trips?
So I don't have any holiday trips right now, although I might be going to a town called Leavenworth up here in Washington. It's a Bavarian themed town in the
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah, I've been there during the summer before, but I've never been during winter. So I do have some friends who are going there, and they invited me, so I might be going there for Christmas, around Christmas time. And I also have a trip in Hawaii to go to Maui in January. But again, that's a girls' trip that a girlfriend and I have decided to go on. But right now, I don't have any specific solo trips planned, but I'm very spontaneous, and I wouldn't be surprised if in a month or two I go on a road trip somewhere like for the weekend, so
yes. Yeah, especially like moving to a new place. You're now in like a hub of all these new day trips you can do.
Yeah.
And weekend trips too.
Yeah.
Sure.
I
That's awesome.
I love being up here in the Pacific Northwest too, because I just love the trees and being out in nature and hiking, and there are so many cool places to explore. There's tons of places, and I love it.
Yeah, literally everyone I've talked to who has moved to the Northwest or Pacific Northwest, can you just call it the Northwest? I'm not sure. They're always like, they just like fall in love, and they're just like hardcore about it.
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
Have
you ever watched Twin Peaks?
No, I haven't.
There's like Twin Peaks tours up there and everything.
Yeah, so I believe that the beginning of Twin Peaks shows this place called Snoqualmie Falls, which I have been to. There's like a waterfall or whatever and a lodge. That's a really cool place, but I've never watched Twin Peaks.
Janice, I thought you were gonna ask if she's ever watched Twilight. And I was this took a turn.
But Twilight's also in the Pacific Northwest, right?
It's in Washington.
Yes, but I would probably not be that enthusiastic about a Twin Peak or a Twilight tour. Undoubtedly, there is one though.
Yeah.
Oh, there is. Yeah.
A few years ago, my friend wanted to go on a Twilight tour, kind of. So we went. I'm not a huge Twilight fan.
It's okay.
Yeah, but I was down for the adventure, so I was So we took a road trip to Forks, and we did the whole Twilight thing.
Yeah, sometimes when you're traveling, sometimes when you're traveling, you do the kitschy stuff that you would probably think is dumb otherwise. It's like it's a kick.
Well, it makes a fun story, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm always down for an adventure.
Do you have any like last words of wisdom or encouragement for someone who like feels a lot of resistance planning their first solo trip, but does really want to go to these places? They're kind of like stuck. They're like, I don't want to go alone, but I really want to go. Like,
yeah, I think I would just say, take the risk, and also try maybe a group tour first. Kontiki, G Adventures. Those are a few places or a few organizations that offer group tours. And it's a great way to get your foot into solo travel without actually having to do it all by yourself. They plan the trips for you, and they usually give you some time to go explore by yourself as well. Just also don't let people criticize you and put you down for your choice to solo travel. You are way more capable than you think you are. Go out there, take the risk, see how it makes you feel, and you're gonna probably end up feeling really strong, really brave, and empowered. It's gonna end up giving you more confidence, and you're gonna just feel so empowered to go out there and do more solo trips and just be brave and take risks in your life. I can't even describe to you how empowering and how strengthening solo travel has been for me. And I really believe that you can change your life through solo travel. You can use it as a way of healing from a breakup, or any other kind of grief process, or any kind of grief that you're going through. It's so empowering, and it's one of the most amazing things I've done, and I feel like a freaking badass every time I do it. And I want everyone else, I want all the other ladies out there to feel like badasses too, and because they can do it. And if I can do it, you can do it. It's possible.
Yes. I love it. Yes, you are definitely a badass, Kelly. All of this is such good information, and just the fact that you've had so many, rich adventures is, it makes you an interesting person. It makes you a person that I certainly admire and am inspired by. So thank you.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. That makes me feel really nice.
Yeah, I'm revved up and ready to go. So
yeah,
I
think there's going to be a surge in like flights booked after people listen to this episode for sure. I know it's going to be really inspiring for people, and I'm sure there's going to be like a ripple effect of other women and men solo traveling around the world and changing their lives too, just like you changed yours with the Italy-Ireland trip.
Yes.
It's awesome.
Well, we look forward to hearing more about your adventures, and we're really appreciative of you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
So where can everyone find you and follow along, not in real time with your location tags?
Yeah, so I have an Instagram. It's Kellyanne Explores. So it's KELLYANNEXPLORES.
Cool.
And I also just started a blog. I started a website. It's kellyanneexplores.com. There's only 2 posts up right now. I'm planning on adding more, but it's going to be a blog about solo travel and just ways to solo travel affordably, more confidently, and also just some stories about personal development as well.
Amazing.
That's right up our alley. That's amazing.
We will make sure to link you up all over the place and make sure that we direct people to that. And I also look forward to reading it. And good luck with that.
Yay. Yes, thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you. We'll see everyone next time.
Bye. Bye. Thanks for listening to X-Files, a podcast about breakups, broken hearts, and moving on.
If you like this episode, tag us on your Instagram story so we can connect with you.
And you can find me, Claire, on Instagram at Claire Lofthouse.
And me, Janice, on Instagram at Janice Formicella. If you'd like to join our online community, find us on Facebook at Breakups, Broken Hearts, and Moving On.